guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo, hello.
How we doing?
Alright, I'm actually in a really fucking good mood today.
Makes a change.
How are you bitches?
I'm good.
Yeah, cracking.
Not as good as you.
Alright, last week was a long one. We did go through quite a bit, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
It was a heavy one.
Yeah. We spoke about Golden Gods, Rammstein, Lamb of God, Creeper, The Royal. We did our blackmail game. An awesome all killer from Ulysk.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was really good. And we touched on politics. And
Just touched on it briefly.
Briefly.
It was brief because there's so much we could have said.
Yeah.
We could have been
so
talking
much
for hours.
we
just-
didn't say.
Yeah.
Like we would have liked to mention Rise Against,
Yeah.
the Phil and Samo, racism, hoo-ha.
Yeah, I mean that's an issue.
If you want to call it a hoo-ha.
Yeah.
That's an issue on its own, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we could go very far.
Yeah, I think we should come back to that at some point.
Yeah,
We didn't
I'm sure
mention-
I'm sure we will.
all of the hardcore bands ever.
Yeah, all of the hardcore bands.
To stand
ever.
for something.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
no, that's just an observation. They like to stand for shit. Which will be apparent as we go on this episode.
Today we have more news from the Golden Gods, Korn's new bassist, the Damn Things, a little bit on Five Finger Death Punch. We went to see Parkway Drive.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You should have.
You
You
definitely
should have.
Yeah.
Danny, you went to see it in London.
Yeah.
Me and Fisher, we went to see it in Nottingham. Also, last week we did say we was going to talk about Image.
Yeah.
Image with metal.
Yeah, topic.
We are not going to do that. 'Cause we are going to do
Curveball, I like it.
We're going to do that next week because we have.
Jesus.
We have.
Sorry, man, I just wanted to make my presence felt.
We've got
Guest.
guests here. Yeah. Next week we will have a guest. And
Oh, have we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's going to be joining. Carl is
Hey,
going
you
to join
didn't
us.
even
I
know.
had no idea.
No, careful.
Oh, fuck off
Yeah.
then.
No, we're the expensive Rob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're not going to do Image. We are going to talk about, like, fresh off the Parkway gig, gig etiquette, and do's and don'ts at being at a gig.
Mm-hmm. Don't
Yeah.
be a cunt.
Don't be a dick.
Mm.
So basically, like the list that should be at the front of every venue when you walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
instead of no crowd surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be.
No cunts.
More crowd surfing, less cunts.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Unless you're over a certain weight. But we'll get onto that.
That could be in our Image section.
It's more of a workout than it is an enjoyable experience.
We picked hardcore as the genre to delve into.
Oh,
the
yeah.
game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
Every second of it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
It
Love doing that.
it was an improvement on last week's black metal.
We could have picked anything and it would have been an improvement on that.
Well, see,
To
the
be
thing,
perfectly
the point
honest.
is with the game is to listen to a new genre that we don't really listen to. But I've been quite a big hardcore fan over the years. I think you might have been a bit as well, Fisher.
Yeah, I've touched on it. Yeah.
So for myself, it is more about finding something. Because I thought with the game, okay, well I'm going to introduce you guys into a band that I really enjoy, but apparently that's not allowed. So
The whole point is to find
something different.
Find a completely
Yeah.
new band that you know.
So that'll be a nice thing to go over and recommend to
yeah.
other bands.
Yeah. And Fisher, you have an all killer.
I do, and it will
Both of
tie
us.
in very nicely with the hardcore theme that's going on. So
Cool.
look forward to that.
Excellent.
Later on. Yep.
Alright, so
Right.
the news.
Ooh,
Was that our
that
jingle?
was like nice and in sync there.
Yeah, Golden Gods then.
Yeah.
Go.
I believe it was only a few days ago that it was announced that Orange Goblin would be opening the Golden Gods.
It's very fitting.
Yeah, yes it is. Probably it is probably a thank you to them for starting the campaign to save Metal Hammer.
I would say so. Yeah.
So they are opening it, and that's going to be fucking awesome. That is going to be really good. It's good that they've started like announcing bands already. Today they announced that Avatar will also be playing. I don't really know much about that band.
No. Nothing.
No, they look like carny folk. That's all I've got, really.
Was that racist?
Nah, that wasn't racist. Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Um,
How many bands do they normally have?
It's normally 4,
Is it?
I think.
Oh,
4
okay.
or 5 bands. I mean, they're not long sets, but it's just interesting to see who they are playing there.
Yeah. Alright. Cool.
There's no sign of Black Veil Brides this time, right?
No.
Hey!
Hey.
Fuck for
I
that.
feel like they should be another band on our band list.
No, I'm just gonna keep bringing it back 'cause it's funny. Don't you talk shit, man. Right, onwards.
Fuck off, Andy.
Yeah. Korn has a new bassist.
No, don't clickbait. Don't mislead. I saw a video that said, "Oh yeah, Korn's replacement bassist."
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
It's not quite.
No, not quite.
I think it's quite. It's
what's the
more,
real-
more
what's-
impressive.
What's the real story here?
Well, why is it that Fieldy can't do it? But it's the
Did he find God again?
probably.
Oh, I've no idea.
It's just, well, it's a Brazilian tour they're supposed to be doing apparently, and Fieldy can't make it. So Rob Trujillo from Metallica is his son is going to be replacing them for that
He was
tour.
12.
Who's 12 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say his son doing it. That's not that out there sounding, but
No, that's just cool as shit though.
but the
isn't
fact
it?
that
Like, yeah.
the fact that his son is 12 years old.
Yeah.
Mm.
How would you feel if you were being replaced by a 12-year-old on a tour?
Pretty humiliated.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Yeah. Definitely not daddy issues there then.
Oh!
Come on, guys.
Laughing like a bitch.
I'll keep forgetting their album is called Issues, not Daddy Issues. I made this mistake last
I
week.
really, it says more about you than it does about them.
I have daddy issues.
There we go. This is not a therapy session.
My father didn't love me. No, shout out to my dad, he's awesome.
He is awesome.
Anyway,
Is that all we got for Korn's new bassist?
There's not really much else you can say on the matter. I mean,
No,
he's
he's
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
he
that's
is
really
really cool, and the fact that they actually think that he is up to it as well.
Yeah, to play in a band like Korn
Mm,
at 12.
yeah.
yeah, and there's quite. It's
Right.
not just playing bass as well. I mean, like Korn's bass sound is quite distinct.
It's
Yeah.
a huge sound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a big part of their
He's
sound.
not going to be playing to small crowds either, is he?
Nah.
It'd be arenas and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Well,
Fair
I
play
kind
to
of
them.
feel like that might become the spectacle, though. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's there, like just a big spotlight on him on the whole way through the gig. I did see a little clip of Rob teaching. His son's called Ty, I think, teaching him a couple of the songs. So, and he looks pretty impressive. So, yeah, that'd
It'd
be
be
cool.
really interesting to see how it goes. I think it's
Yeah.
cool as shit.
Yeah. You hear stories about like musicians telling their children, like, you will learn an instrument or you will follow my footsteps.
Like
Like,
Cavalier.
yeah.
yeah. Who I will mention later on to do with hardcore. Surprisingly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The Damn Things.
Yay!
Yeah, tell me about the Damn Things.
They, out of nowhere, Keith Buckley released a little snippet of a song, and it definitely is not something from Every Time I Die. Anyone that has heard it can pretty much guarantee that. I'm so excited. It sounded really fucking cool. Whether it's just going to be like one song or whether it's going to be an EP, I don't know. But I'm so happy.
How brilliant that a few
Yeah.
weeks ago we were saying like
Yeah, it's real killer, weren't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
When I brought the album. Now again, new stuff.
Did they ever tour?
No,
Yeah,
they
I
didn't.
think it's
They,
two shows,
they only did a few shows though. They didn't do an actual tour. They played Download.
Okay.
I missed them. I was not happy. I mean, if they were to do any more UK shows like in the future, I'd be there, like, without a fucking doubt.
Yeah, I know it's just funny because we were saying a few weeks ago, you know what a massive shame it is that you know they've only done one album and that's quite a while ago now, and they just never pursued it because of their other careers. So for them to come back and you know, I think it could be quite a big spectacle, and it sounds pretty massive. The little teaser as well.
Yeah, it does.
It sort of cuts off just as he starts singing as
Yeah.
well. You know,
So,
it's distinctly him singing, not screaming.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so
Can't wait
excited.
for
So excited.
that. Times of Grace.
Yes.
Go on, Fisher. Tell me about Times of Grace.
read this week they've got 13 tracks demoed.
Okay.
Times of Grace being 3 members of Killswitch and 2 others.
Yeah.
From other bands. They want to take a bit of a different direction with this album. Also stating Jesse will not be doing any aggressive vocals, no screaming. It's all going to be clean and melodic. Could be interesting. I really enjoyed their last album.
What was their first track they brought out?
Strength in Numbers.
Yeah, that was really good.
It was really good.
That was kind of like a reintroduction
that.
for him to get back into Killswitch.
Yeah. It was just a bit of a trial, I suppose, before he got back into Killswitch, which proved to be a success. And now, I suppose, those 3 members that have got Killswitch just feel like they don't want to be in 2 bands that are exactly the same. So why not?
Fair, really.
It is fair. So why not experiment? I guess they feel, especially Jesse, who has got the screaming side and the clean. He can perhaps focus more on the screaming with Killswitch and more on the clean. A bit like a Corey Taylor between Slipknot and Stone Sour type scenario. So
Just turn it into a band, like, in and of its own.
yeah, and not just that's those dudes from Killswitch that are doing that side project. Maybe it will turn into something that's got its own identity.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what they're hoping for.
I hope they keep. I hope that Times Grace just keep him. We get Howard back. I'm just putting it out there. I miss Howard, man. I miss his vocals.
I entirely disagree.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh no, fuck you guys.
Because I saw.
Didn't this happen last time?
Yeah.
The table was
Yeah.
split.
Yeah.
Table will be fucking flipped over in a minute.
No, but it's not that he's bad by any means. He's great. It's just that Howard was fucking exceptional, in my opinion. That's literally it.
I prefer.
Like,
him.
I'm
the
still
melodic stuff.
Yeah.
But Jesse's a better screamer, I think.
I just think Jesse's better.
Okay.
Cross your arms.
I think Howard's more powerful.
Bit of negative body language going on here.
Right, moving on then.
Okay.
Mastodon and their album.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a
did
surprise. There we
briefly-
go. Yeah.
I did briefly see something about this, but I'm
Mastodon's
not sure.
first week album sales just kicked the shit out of everybody.
Way.
They beat Drake in first week album sales.
It's a great result.
It is. I mean, this is in physical copies
Okay.
and full
Yeah, this
album
is-
downloads.
we haven't downloaded.
hmm This isn't like individual tracks streamed. This is
Okay.
full albums, and it's just beat the shit out of everything.
Where did you what was the number? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, no. I can look.
Yes. Well, there's like, from what I saw, from what I was reading, I want to be a little bit. You've got to be a little bit cautious of this because with Drake's, obviously, if you're going to say okay, they sold more than Drake, this is streaming. Streaming alone accounts for how many record sales, but then Drake's album was done just streaming and then came out as a physical release 2 weeks later. So this is probably the argument that's probably put forward for this is like prior to the album actually being physical.
Yeah.
So
They sold 43,000 units in its first week of release.
right,
41,000 of those copies were either physical units or full album downloads, and the other 2,000 came from streaming and track equivalent downloads.
yeah. See that's beat his physical sales,
and
but nothing on his streaming.
Oh,
His
no.
streaming
No,
came to like 700,000.
yeah, I
which
don't
is
know.
fucking
I don't know.
wild.
I
I
can't
mean,
see anyone
yeah.
physically buying a Drake album. It will be streaming.
Yeah, see,
But
I think
that is still a massive achievement.
It is.
though.
I'm not trying to take
it
away
is.
from that. I just think that these articles is like it's trying to word it in it to make it a spectacle that's a bit of an over the top spectacle.
Yeah, I think with a band like Mastodon as well, buying the album itself, I mean their artwork is quite phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know,
they are an album artist
it-
as well.
It
Yeah,
goes to show
especially-
that, like, you know, we still want full albums.
Yeah.
yeah. You just get a lot more like from a band like Mastodon or a band like Tool, for example. If you buy the physical copy, you get a lot of extra stuff. I think it was Blood Mountain. You got an actual art book with the album itself.
Yeah.
no lyrics, not a lyric book. That was separate, like an actual 20-page, like stuff. It's full of really cool stuff.
When you're spending money on a full album for a band like that, you are getting your money's worth.
Yeah, and as that was a concept album as well, it all kind of tied in. It was this whole like little package. So just to download the songs, you wouldn't maybe get.
You wouldn't get that. It's more of an experience than an album.
Yeah, Mastodon aren't a singles band. They're definitely an album experience. Like, I mean, it's a concept record in itself anyway. So that's how most of their fan base want to consume it. So it makes sense. But yeah, that's still pretty impressive. I mean, how many records into their career now? And well, it's a good sign for metal, really, isn't it? You know, to see that
it's going strong. And like I said, I think it does show that like metal fans, they do want full albums, and they are prepared to still go out and buy physical copies.
Yeah, I think metal lends itself still to like the old school format more than sort of like, you know, oversaturated artists like hip hop artists. They do just constantly, like Drake especially is one of these artists that's just never wants to step out of the limelight because he's worried that he might not be, that he won't be at the top and someone's going to take that from him. There's definitely a lot of this competitive side of it of just got to keep putting out material.
Yeah,
this is kind of what we actually started talking about yesterday evening. We were just having a chat and we were talking about Machine Head and Rob Flynn about how we think...
we have touched on this.
Yeah.
I think a few episodes.
Yeah, we did
back.
when we talked about streaming.
Yeah, we did touch on it.
Yeah, he just wants to keep relevant, just drop tracks here and there. But I think if anything, those album sales show that isn't necessarily what's going to work.
There's no right or wrong way, I don't think.
No, there isn't.
But I think a lot of people, a lot of bands are trying to keep up with the way the industry is changing.
Yeah.
Which is, as you say, like, you know, staying relevant, putting out singles here and there. I think you might have said something the same about Lamb of God as well.
They did the Duke single. I don't know what the reasoning was behind it.
Yeah, just more EPs and singles.
Apart from the fact that it was a story-based thing about
the Duke.
Well, the Duke was a
fan
of Lamb of God that had leukemia, and it was this whole. I think they did like a little mini movie about him. So it was
really?
like this whole like concept thing that perhaps they didn't just want to chuck the song Duke in on an album. They didn't want to lump it in with all the other songs. Okay. I think they wanted to make a point about this guy, about how
its own thing.
Yeah, its own thing, its own little EP.
Cool.
As opposed to sort of trying to make a statement about the music industry and like what Rob Flynn has done.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like you say, there's no right or wrong way to go about that sort of thing. And
I mean, you do have to kind of adapt and change with the times, but it's at 41,000 physical.
Yeah, that's bloody impressive. I think that's awesome. Yeah. So, and has anyone listened to that album since we discussed it last week?
I have not yet.
No?
It will go on my playlist.
You are doing yourself a disservice.
Oh, am I?
You really are.
Okay.
It's really
letting yourself
good.
down.
No, I'm not denying it.
I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That's all.
I fully intend to.
Have you done your homework? the dog ate it.
I fully intended to bring it in.
Yeah, tried that one. Look where I am now.
Five Finger Death Punch. What the fuck is happening with them?
Right. Label issues.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, I suppose it's different from vocalist issues.
Well, there seems to be two sides of the story, as is per most of these drama situations. Five Finger Death Punch have claimed that they're being held hostage by their record company. And they're trying to sue them. They're called Prospect Park. That's the record company, I think. Yeah, and they're looking for $1 million in damages, which is pretty heavy. But then the record label themselves have said that they're accusing the singer. Is it Ivan
Moody?
Yeah, of just trying to cash in. To just get a record out or something.
Who knows what that guy is capable of these days?
Yeah.
Where this is concerned, I actually side with the band because the record label is telling them they can't release a new original album until they've put together a best of album.
Right.
They're still fairly, young in their career, like album wise. They don't need a best of album.
Oh no.
That's just cashing in.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone's guilty of cashing in, it's the fucking record label, surely.
Yeah, I mean, he said that the record label is like really struggling financially. They are like the biggest band on their label, so it makes sense that they're going to try and get more out of them. But then again, I think I'm the person on this table that's listened to them the least. So
this issue has been going on for at least 2 years now.
Okay.
This whole thing, like it blows up and it goes away, and it's been a constant back and forth feud between the band and the label. Why they haven't just gone off the label, I don't know.
I
it just seems like a massive headache for the band that just want to further their career and get on with their music.
They are a very like accessible metal band though. Like they're very commercially successful.
Yeah, there are a lot of people on the fringes, I feel, that are willing to give Death Punch. They're a bit of a gateway band.
Yeah, they are one of those bands. Like you talk to people who wouldn't normally listen to metal. Like, I like Five Finger Death Punch. In the same way you'll meet people like I don't like metal, but I like Metallica.
Yeah.
They are one of those bands that are very accessible, and if they are one of the biggest bands on this record label, you can see why a struggling label wants to cash in on a band like that.
Yeah.
Because it would be easy to do.
Yeah, but they're going to end up alienating them, and Death Punch will just fuck them off, and they'll lose them for good.
Yeah.
So that's
their own fault at the end of the day.
And that'll be their own fault, yeah.
Chimera had a big problem with them at the start, didn't they?
Were they on that label?
No, with Death Punch.
With Death
Punch,
yeah. The whole issue Chimera had was the fact that this were a band that had never met and were thrown together. They're a manufactured band, and they got handed everything on a plate and said, there you go.
Yeah, where Chimera has been doing it for 10 years.
Worked their asses off.
And then suddenly Five Finger Death Punch comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And were appearing on festival bills higher than Chimera, would just...
That was a huge bone of contention.
Chimera were very bitter about the whole rise of Five Finger Death Punch.
Were they on the same label?
I don't think they were.
I can't remember.
No, I think Chimera were Roadrunner. Unless Death Punch used to be on Roadrunner.
Maybe.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But I think they were, because the whole issue was that whatever the label was, were just throwing money at Death Punch, and they picked these 5 guys from opposite ends of the country.
They were just thrown together and told to make music, basically.
And they would just email parts back and forth and wrote a record with pretty much out even meeting. And then just got huge overnight. And all these bands that have been like working their asses off their entire careers.
But that is how record labels work though. They don't usually they don't dish out the same amounts to all of their bands. It does work like that. So
yeah, but there's not handing out the same amounts of money to all of your bands, and there's getting 5 random guys who you think are talented musicians. It was like some kind of like X Factor band.
Like they just put
One
together,
Direction of metal. They basically were. They were just put together and told to make music.
I think Death Punch weren't an organically formed band. They weren't like a bunch of dudes hanging out and one day just decided to write music like most people.
It surprises me they've done so well.
I think they are struggling now though. Their last album was
nothing. Their
sounded like
last albums.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'll still go and see them at Download this year.
Yeah,
I can't wait to.
That's if Ivan really turns up.
True.
Yeah.
He's had a bit of a wobble. You know.
A bit of a wobble.
There's having a bit of a wobble, and then there's telling like an entire venue full of people that your mum's on her deathbed when actually she's perfectly fine.
Yep, there's that.
Oh no, he's done so much shit lately. Like the Moody, he's done a lot of weird.
He's pissed his band off on one show, and so they all walked off stage and just left him there.
He's got Axl Rose syndrome.
And
Moody by name, Moody by nature.
He's singing to the crowd, and then he goes behind the drum kit and tries to drum and sing. But he starts drumming, but sings the wrong song. He goes, "Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing," and then just goes in the crowd and walks around for a bit, and then comes back out. And then after a little while, the band comes back out and then starts playing again.
That's like that Ashley Simpsons thing from like was it SNL or whatever that was parodied on Family Guy, where they played the wrong backing track, and then she just does some weird like sort of Irish dance and just like, makes it up, and then just runs off stage. Like, don't know what's going on. See you later.
It does sound a bit
just
like
like completely improvised.
This guy does not know what he's doing at the
He's a
moment.
very unpredictable character right now.
I
It's a
mean,
bit weird that we know this stuff about his. You say his mum was on his deathbed, like.
But that's the only reason we know about that
it.
is because he told a venue full of people this, and that's
Yeah.
why he apologised for his performance. But he's having like an ongoing feud with his sister, and his sister like then went to the press, was like, "No, our mum is absolutely fine."
So he's trying to sort of like air his quote, you know, dirty laundry in public to excuse his like misbehaviour.
But he's just making it up.
But he's
the thing.
bullshitting.
He's just, like I said, I think he's got Axl Rose syndrome. Like
is that a real thing?
it is. Like,
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the
Oh shit, my pubes are
That
ginger.
wasn't right. It's a real thing.
God, I was walking off stage.
Axl Rose syndrome.
how suddenly Five Finger Death Punch really became so big. They've not been around that long, and look at how big they are.
No.
Yeah.
And he's got this money, he's got all this fame, and it's just gone straight to his head. And it's exactly what Axl Rose did.
I would like to say it's definitely Axl Rose syndrome. It's a definite thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing before Axl Rose.
No, it wasn't.
Storming off stage and fucking around and all
Turning
this
up
stuff.
late because you want to have a roast dinner before you come on.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of anyone that did that before Axl Rose. So yeah, he's made that.
We
his
are in
thing
agreement.
for once.
Yeah.
I think I'll have a celebratory beer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was
I'll
Elvis
drink
always a
to
gentleman?
that.
Oh, Manson used to do that kind of crap though, didn't he?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
pretty
he's-
sure Axl Rose did it first.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when we saw Manson at Download,
He was awful.
were you there?
That was bad.
That was bad.
That was bad.
He was awful.
He's having
Oh, was this
oxygen
thing
on
from the shit where he
stage,
starts like fucking
throwing his microphone off
At the
stage,
guitar.
spitting at
Yeah,
people?
he had to have oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen after every
Just
song.
grabbed his guitarist's guitar and stopped him from playing.
Yeah.
The first thing he said to the crowd was, "Do we want coats?"
Yeah,
And everyone was
coats
like,
or no coats?
What? He was like, "No, we don't want
It-
coats," and
it-
took his coat off, and everyone was like, "All right, mate."
He was the slowest.
Was it raining?
Set list.
No.
No, it wasn't.
It was just a really piss poor performance.
It was.
And
It
what,
was.
what else did he say to the crowd? Don't do
Can't
drugs unless they're free.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he did say that.
No, if anything, the other way round. At least if you pay for it, you got more chance of them being okay.
It was shocking, quite frankly.
Wow.
It was.
Even more shocking considering 2 years previous, he was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Was that
I
before
saw him-
he was on before after Slayer?
No, Bullet
Remember.
around that time. He was on
He
the
was-
main stage, and he
Yeah, no, he was on after Slayer.
Can't remember.
No, I'm telling you, he was.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, he was after
before
Slayer.
Guns N' Roses, ironically.
Yeah, we saw him with Rob Zombie
Yeah.
a couple of years after. Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like you're either gonna get amazing Manson.
He's very hit
or-
and miss, isn't he?
or shit
Like,
Manson.
are we going to get good Manson or shit Manson? Download was shit Manson.
It was very shit, man. So.
I kind of like the gamble of it though. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the fucking
It was
man
exciting.
Yeah, like the man let loose. You know, I don't
Well,
really. You expect you kind
You
of.
say let loose. He was having oxygen on stage. How
Yeah.
let loose was he
Yeah.
there?
Very loose.
But there are certain artists you look at and go, okay, this is like the over the top bombastic character. You expect to hear the headlines.
Yeah.
So like, if it's all straight laced and nice, it's kind of like, oh okay. Having said that, I actually quite liked the last Marilyn Manson album. If you heard it,
Yeah, no, it was really
It's
good.
actually. Yeah, I was never really a fan growing up.
I heard one of the singles wasn't hugely struck on it.
It's
What's
very like
Manson's-
just kind of dark, kind of had a bit of the 80s sort of feel
Yeah.
to it. It was quite sort of.
It was kind of a
yeah.
step back from like the whole shock rock thing.
Yeah,
It was just
quite stripped back in a way.
Yeah,
for the songs
it
I had.
was.
Yeah.
Was it Hardcore Superstar? What was his
Uh,
his main album? Beautiful.
Fuck.
I'm talking like Beautiful People, Fight Song, that kind of era. I really enjoyed that. sort of side of Max.
And really,
even like
you could pull any of his
mob
albums
scene.
out. And
Yeah.
Even like the mob scene stuff. I thought it was okay. I'll have to give the new stuff a listen.
Speaking of new stuff, should we get
Yeah.
into some new listens then?
Holy
Massive-
shit. Yeah, that was a lot of news.
Massive tangent.
There we go. Nice little segue.
New listens then. I have been listening to The Royal after you mentioned them last week. A lot.
Yeah.
They are
Same.
really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Awesome. Yeah.
They,
Thanks, Spanish.
That's all right.
yeah, thank you.
Did you pick up on the While She Sleeps comparisons?
I did.
Yeah.
What I picked up more was they sounded a lot more like August Burns Red.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good shout.
Have you
Yeah.
heard them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's what August Burns Red in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ghost Inside.
In parts. I really like a song of theirs called Aga. It's got this real Middle Eastern scale sounding guitar part. It's just, yeah, it's really sick.
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome.
It was a really impressive album. I went into it knowing nothing about them at all.
Oh, what was this? The whole album was out loud. 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I mentioned, I think it only came out probably like the day after the last podcast.
was it?
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the whole album.
Really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
I can't remember where I think I said last week they're from. I think they might be from Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. Whilst we were looking into hardcore, as we're going to talk about later, I found a new band called We Ride, which is like a female-fronted hardcore band, and I've got their album. Could be reviewing it soon, so I've not dug into it yet. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty much just straight up generic hardcore with like a really raspy, kind of high-pitched female singer. Like,
Okay.
I'm only mentioning that because it's not a common theme in hardcore to have girls from the band. But you know, if you compare like older comeback kid stuff and hardcore that was quite less about screaming but more about shouting, it is quite comparable to that. So it's like in terms of like vocal tonality, it does work. There's a track called Self Made, and their album's called Empowering Life, which I think should be out in a few days. Although I did check out another track called What You Are, and it had like some of the worst gang vocals I've ever heard.
Really?
Like it sort of sounded like, okay, all right, lads, get in the room, we'll all shout this bit together. And someone was like, what are the words again? Someone's just sort of going, it just like sort of just blends into this like mumble, like
just a rabble.
like. Yeah, but I'm hoping that the rest of it's good because I've got to write about it, so I don't want to slate it too much.
Okay.
At least not yet.
Yeah, although I do enjoy a good run, so yeah. And then I've also been listening to Employed to Serve, who I only discovered recently. And they've got an album coming out on May 19th called The Warmth of the Dying Sun, I think.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, at least he's going to talk about that later on the hardcore section. And they're just fucking dirty sounding, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, they describe themselves as nasty hardcore.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's good when like an album title is, describes the sound. Like the first Beartooth album was called Disgusting, which it was, and I put it on like not expecting anything pristine and poppy, and it was just fucking filthy riffs. I was like, yes.
And then Aggressive.
And then
After
Aggressive. What's the next one going to be? Sugary Sweet.
Enough of your bullshit.
Yeah. Anyone else?
No, I've just been ripping
Is it
the
just
Royal.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
All right.
for me.
I've not had time to try and find anything else, to be honest, but I've been listening to the Royal a lot. I'm really impressed.
Okay. Cool.
Really
I'm glad to help.
impressed.
Well, that was actually Rock Sound. I think it was. They just shared some new music.
Okay.
I've been listening to the new Body Count album, Bloodlust, with Mr. Ice-T.
Ice motherfucking tea, bitch.
What did he say to 11-year-old?
Yeah, this was a download. They were on before Andrew WK. I had no idea what to expect. It's a really bizarre choice of band to have on before an artist like Andrew WK.
I think it's a perfectly reasonable choice, actually.
It was
Just
incredible.
party time.
Yeah.
It was so loud. Those drums were so loud. I felt like I was being kicked in the lungs.
Awesome.
Now, Ice-T's standing there, he's doing his thing, and he sees this kid on this guy's shoulders, and he's pointing at him. He's like, "How old are you, kid?" So 11. So do you ever get bullied at school? Because I know. So well, if you ever do, you tell these bullies you've got a new uncle. And his name is Ice Motherfucking T, bitch. And everyone's like, brilliant, of course it is. Of course it fucking is. So you tell those bullies that you've got a message from Uncle Ice Motherfucking T, and that is, talk shit, get shot.
Man, I want some hypothetical bullies too, so Ice-T could be my uncle. Yeah, I mean, that sums it up perfectly, because I mean, I'd heard of them for years, but went back to the early albums and it's dog shit.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
awful.
It's awful.
Fucking terrible.
How long have they been around?
Since the early 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
really going back. I think they've got 5 albums out.
I think he actually went on stage with... I'm tempted to say Upon a Burning Body, because he's a huge fan.
Okay.
And he was backstage at one of their shows and they invited him out, and yeah, he spent some of the set like
Just hanging
just
out.
just like rocking out with them. And they were obviously like, we've got fucking iced tea on stage.
That's amazing.
Someone's just
That's
sat there sipping away. Bit of iced tea.
Say edit.
Man, I love a bit of iced tea. No, but like I've really been enjoying this new album. Of
It's a
theirs.
good album.
Have you heard it?
Title?
Have you?
Do we have a name?
Yeah.
No Lives Matter, is it? No.
No. This is. Wait a minute. Bloodlust.
There must be a track on there.
Yeah,
No
there
Lives
is.
Matter.
Yeah.
Referencing
yeah.
the Black Lives Matter movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I saw an interview where he was talking about it, and he was just basically saying like, "Fuck all these debates. Like, this is the human race." But it's like. It's super political, but it's done in such a kind of like obnoxious, over the top way, and I think that's why I love it. Like the album just starts off and it's just like you just said, it's just like it's motherfucking iced tea. I can't remember what the first line is, but it's just there with an entrance, and it's like it's so obvious, over the top and angry, but you just kind of
You
like
know what you're getting
Yeah,
with Body Count, though.
exactly.
You know exactly what you're getting.
some of the riffs are fucking just hench as
Yeah.
hell. Like as far as hardcore goes, this is some of the best I've heard.
You
in
will
recent
find like a
years.
lot of their lyrical content as well. Though is actually really clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just took simplicity from it. That's all I thought on first impression. Like it was just
No, you-
to the point. You know.
Like some of the points that they are making with their songs, like
Yeah.
they're really outspoken.
Yeah.
Body
There's a
Count.
track called "All Love Is Lost" with Max Cavalera as well, which is quite enjoyable.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of Max Cavalera, I was going to mention this before we actually started the bulk of today's episode, but who here went back and listened to that Sepultura song I mentioned
Yes.
last
Oh
week?
no, I forgot.
Fucking hell.
Yes, I did.
You did.
Yes.
All right, I'd like your full review, please, just before we move on.
Where do you start with that song?
I mean, it's 2 minutes long, if that. It's pretty short.
It's the most bizarre thing I've heard in a long time. However, that is
It was a cover.
It's a cover song of a
Japanese anime like
uh,
intro tune.
intro song. Yeah.
I feel threatened. Just, both fingers pointing at the same time. It's
Have you
a-
done your research? Yes, we have.
Well, regardless,
Right back at you, Spanish.
regardless, even though it wasn't an original song, it was still a cover. Why would you cover that? It
Why
sounds
would you cover
fucking
that?
ridiculous.
Why of all stuff?
He
Like,
still does sound like the village drunk, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
He
Like,
does, absolutely. He sounds like he's at like some kind of awful karaoke
It's
night.
so jolly though.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger on singing the national anthem.
I hated every second
Yeah,
of it.
it was.
Every second.
It was complete
I actually
trash.
found it quite endearing. I went back through it a few times.
Jesus.
Just because it was making me
Christ.
laugh.
You are losing all credibility.
Fuck you.
It was complete trash. I have to say.
It was awful,
But
man.
as comedy value goes, excellent.
Mm. Right.
All right.
Right then, lads.
Right then, we all went. Well, apart from you, Lisa, because you're an idiot. We went to see Parkway Drive, Arsenal Alexandria, and Stick to Your Guns.
Yeah.
I would have gone if I could. I'm just throwing that out there.
Now, where do you want to start with this?
I had a spare seat, actually.
Let's start with.
Let's talk
Stick to
about
Your
Stick
Guns.
to Your Guns. Yeah, well, at both venues.
Right, so we should probably say me and you, Rob, we were in Nottingham on the Sunday night. The
On the
previous
Sunday.
night they headlined Brixton Academy,
Which is where I was.
Danny
Yeah.
attended.
Yes.
I've
Much.
rated these out of 10. I gave them an 8.
Stick to your guns.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
That's
fair.
fair. Yeah, fair.
just because I didn't know any of their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, never heard them.
Never heard of them.
Never
They
listened
came
to
out
them.
and like tore the place
they fucking
down.
smashed it.
Yeah, they've got such fucking energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really impressed.
So had you not heard them? Like, because I think I'd mentioned them before. Had you not heard any of their tracks at all?
No.
So you didn't know what you were getting into.
The first time I'd ever heard them was actually in the car on the way to the gig. So it's the first
Yeah, I
time
put a couple of tracks on the playlist on
Yeah.
the way to the gig.
And I was like, okay, these sound
Yeah.
good. I'll approach them with an open mind, obviously.
Yeah.
And they were awesome.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed them. Yeah.
Huge choruses, massive breakdowns, just pure aggression.
Yeah.
I think as far as they're up there as one of the best hardcore bands doing it at the moment, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Certainly
The album
deserved.
Diamonds is one of my favourites. And then the most recent album, and they've got a new EP that came out recently, which is just fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah.
There's I think there's a track called RMA on the last album, which I linked to you guys, and it's. Did you listen to that at all? And there's just this breakdown. But it's just such a huge riff. I couldn't, it's just challenge anyone not to bang their heads to it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So all in all, enjoyed them.
Yeah, fucking loved them.
Yeah. How were they in a size venue of Brixton?
Great.
Because Rock City is obviously really intimate,
Mm.
and I imagine they did quite suit that kind of size venue. But
Well, Brixton Academy is awesome because it's you walk around, you've got the bar, and then literally right in front of it, you're in the venue, and it's down sloped, isn't it? So we were stood just in front of the sound desk. So we had a
high
really,
level.
Yeah, we were sort of like I guess like slightly above where the stage would be really.
Yeah.
Because it's and so I had a really good view of the band and the crowd, and they did a great job of warming them up. Everyone, not everybody, but there was like 2 or 3 pits popping up.
Okay.
And the front few rows did know all their shit, which was good.
Yeah.
And they'd
Yeah.
actually played there recently because they was on the Architects tour as well.
Okay.
So they'd done the Brixton show, and I last saw them in Manchester with Architects, who killed it then as well. Really passionate like vocalist as well. He's always got a lot to say. So
He was talking a fair bit in between songs.
yeah.
It seemed to be promoting a very positive message towards people, and
Yeah.
I guess that's why people are another reason people are drawn towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
Asking
Alexandria. Now I was really looking forward to asking Alexandria, especially with Danny back.
Oh, cheers, mate. Did he? All right, at your show, did he say, "Did you miss me"?
No.
I can't.
I was like,
remember.
no.
We were a bit pissed.
We were fairly tanked up by then, but I gave him a 6 out of 10. Right, fair.
Okay.
Because
I would have expected better than that.
I would have as well. Their sound, I don't know what it was, but it took a little while to notice what song they were playing. I don't know if that was a sound thing or they just weren't tight. They weren't tight, and like Danny, his vocals are like awesome. He can do everything that he used to do.
Oh, that was the only good thing I was going to say. Really,
yeah. His voice is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Well, not the only good thing, but the standout.
And they had a really weird set as well. They did a lot of older stuff, and there's I think like three tracks from the from Death to Destiny.
That was
album.
a really good album.
That was a really good album, and they only done I think like 3 songs. Yeah.
You made a
It's
point
disappointing.
after the gig that they are headlining there soon.
Yeah.
Again.
And
so you. Were
It
kind of
seemed
saying,
like they were trying to get this gig done, this tour done,
get
and
this
then
over with, and then
do an awesome like
it's
Lego
almost
tours
like Danny's
themselves.
back. Let's just
Yeah,
do
let's
some-
have fun.
have a run out
Yeah.
and trial
Yeah.
it, see how it's going. Because this was by far not the finished
No,
article.
no.
Okay.
It's like a practice
Yeah,
run
almost. Yeah.
for their main tour coming up, which is really disappointing because I really wanted to really like them. But there you go.
Okay.
Well, obviously with we'll talk about the production in a moment, but Parkway, Alexandria had these like little sort of these lights beside the stage, like behind each amp and stuff. It was all colour coordinated. They were like these little square panels, so that was kind of like a nice aesthetic to it.
Okay.
And like a massive backdrop. I think they probably had that in Nottingham as well. But
No.
so it was probably like, again, with London being a bigger venue, a little bit more of a show. But
Yeah.
I found the same thing. I don't actually know their stuff, so I'm quite ignorant. I don't want to comment too much on it because I was.
I'm
out
very
of
much the
depth.
same about
Yeah.
this band. Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that they're overrated because they're obviously talented. And there was some massive hench parts of their songs that I was kind of getting into.
Yeah.
And there's a few moments that me and Boff and I bumped into some other friends there as well in London, and we were just sort of like, yeah, okay, this is a pretty epic singer. Like,
Yeah.
he can carry it well, and his voice was nuts. I've got to give him that.
He's a hugely talented man.
Yeah. But you definitely felt the, because you were saying a few weeks ago about him sort of being not fazed by the musicians and being kind of like carrying himself like a rock star.
Yeah.
I kind of got that from the stage massively. Like, it just seemed a bit full of himself, but not. And sometimes that's cool, but it just put me off quite a bit.
It reminds me of something Carl said. And Carl said Danny Warnock is asking Alexandria.
Yeah. He's definitely the character. Isn't
Yeah.
he?
Okay.
There's no asking Alexandria about Danny Warnock.
Well, I have to say, I saw them at Soundwave with the other singer. And
The one that replaced him when he left.
Yeah, and they were better then. I don't know if it was because of the festival atmosphere or what it was. The crowd was a lot more revved up at Soundwave than they were at Rock City.
Yeah.
And I generally preferred that performance.
Yeah. But I bet on their headline show
Yeah.
they'll be
That'll
they'll
be
be
a lot
amazing.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to go to
No,
see him again.
I
Yeah.
think like you said about like getting this impression of him, even then that he knows he's good. I think it's because they know that they could easily headline these venues themselves.
Yeah.
And they would do a fucking good job of it as well. Do you think that has something to do with it? Like why they weren't
Because they were second
as
on
good?
the bill.
Yeah.
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 Most definitely.
Yeah.
Like they know they can sell out that Rock City.
Mm.
They probably sell out Bristol Academy, but they're second on the bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of Ask Alexandria t-shirts there. There was a lot of people that were there for them as well.
I think the entirety of Rock City were into them.
Yeah, and you carry yourself with confidence if you know that that's where you're going. You speak it into an existence, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's like nothing against them. It was just off-putting for me. I just think it was just something doesn't resonate with me with them. I'm not sure what it is. I just think it's like those bands of them, of Mice and Men, and that whole scene. It's just so generic to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though what I'm about to talk about, Parkway Drive, really are about as fucking straight up generic metalcore as it gets. It's hard to make that argument when I'm about to talk about Parkway Drive so positively. But you guys go first with Nottingham.
Yeah, Parkway Drive. I gave a 9. Couldn't give him full marks because I didn't say full marks. I can fucking that's some sort of judge.
Well, I suppose the very flawless gig is a once in a lifetime, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It doesn't come around often. So I mean, this is.
If the stage show was there, if we had the fire, if we had the upside down drums,
The fireworks.
the fireworks,
The blue flames as well.
blue
There was
flames.
blue
We didn't
fl-
have any blue
There was
flames.
green flames as well. It was all colours.
Damn it.
Yeah.
We had some confetti.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ah.
During bottom feeder,
Yeah, last song.
we got some confetti.
Yeah.
We might have got that as well. Little party popper.
So
That's probably what the comparison is like. Just Roxy with their little party popper.
you need that video.
What, of me?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Anyway,
If you're listening, just you fucking wait.
I thought we missed out on that production.
Yeah.
Obviously the size of the venue, they couldn't fit all that stuff on stage. Maybe they didn't have permits for fire or anything on that
Well,
kind of scale.
the way the stage is set up, it would burn the fucking roof,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
it would.
Because it's sort of like, it's like a
It's a
little cove.
curve. Yeah. What we did sort of lack in production, they more than made up for in sound.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
That was so
set list.
Yeah.
The set list was flawless. Like it had all the hits. It even had fucking Boneyards in the middle.
They didn't play anything off Killing with a Smile.
No, they didn't.
Nothing off the first record.
I don't. That doesn't bother me.
I quite like that
That
first
much.
album. Actually.
It doesn't bother me that much. Give Me AD would be cool. I've heard Romance is Dead like a million times live. So.
Yeah, I had Boff next to me saying, "To cry me a fucking river." It's like they didn't play it. So.
Yeah, and I was absolutely buzzing afterwards. I think it was the first gig in a long time I spent the entire gig in the pit.
Nice.
How fucked did you feel?
I was fucked. My chest felt like it was on fire. But yeah, had a blast. Loved it. Loved every minute of it. And I'll always go and see Parkway.
Yeah.
I thought they were awesome. However, the last time I saw them was an open air venue in Brisbane where we had the fire, and I feel like their songs sort of need that impact, like in some of the breakdowns when you've got those flames sort of going up. Just adds up.
Well, there's a lot of references to fire on the new album, isn't there? I feel like they knew when they were writing it. We want fucking flames and shit. Like, so, without any of the production aside, like the sound of this band is just phenomenal. Like the guitar tone.
I think Rock City. I mean, we saw Trivium back there.
Yeah.
And that was a flawless sound almost. I don't know how Brixton was, but the sound was impeccable. It was really good.
I am a great example. I don't know. I mean, the whole thing sounded amazing for me. But like, if I was to rate it, if we're rating it, I would have given them a 10. Actually, would have given, and I don't give that out easily.
Yeah.
I'd go as far as saying that I enjoyed that even more than the Architects show last year, which was something fucking special.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a bigger fan of Architects than I am of Parkway.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Wow.
Now, I also, because like they played a lot, like you said about the set list, they played a lot of different shit, like from all their albums.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Aya, and like I had listened to it like when it first came out, and I've sort of like popped back to it every now and then and discussed it in recent episodes. But for me, like that album is like a perfect metal album. I think that it is so it is written for a big live venue.
Yeah.
And like
It's actually the only Parkway album that I like.
They've definitely stepped it up.
every and you know that your band is getting big when the fucking crowd sing along to the guitar to like the lead sections. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did you have that in Nottingham? Like every single lead section of the song, everyone in the crowd was singing along to that and the vocals, and it's just like,
that whoa.
When they came out, it was just
They opened with Wild Eyes.
Yeah.
And like the whole crowd were doing that. Sort of, that bit.
that huge open lead section. Yeah.
And I think only Maiden really get that.
Yeah.
At their gigs.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
well,
like-
I've seen it with like Avenged and stuff like
Okay.
recently, and a lot of like bands of when you get into that size, like.
Yeah.
But because they came out and it was just the guitarist, and I was like, oh, where's the production? I genuinely like when they started, I was like, where's the? I've seen this on, as we were talking, I've seen it online. Where's the fucking production? It was just the guitarist and the band, and it was just him playing the lead, and they were all there like arms open sort of thing, and then the fucking sheet dropped behind him, and it was just like, fucking like,
Here we fucking are.
yeah, and you could see like the big round thing for the kit,
Yeah.
and these risers. There was 4 risers for each
Yeah.
band member. And there was just like the pyro that like falls from the top.
Oh, the one that drips down.
that drips down.
Yeah. Like
With flames at the same
like
time.
Like a waterfall almost.
Yeah. And let me tell you, those flames. I mean, I haven't actually really been to a show with that many flames apart from festivals.
You need to see Rammstein.
But but I don't know where you were when you saw Rammstein, but at the Brixton Academy, I was in the front of the sound desk, which is quite far from the stage. Like at the edge of the pit was the whole fucking crowd the whole night. But as soon as those flames come on, you could feel that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how the band do it. Like, it is so hot. Like in the crowd, it's mental. And so I'm there with Boff and a few other lads. And to be fair, I know he doesn't know any of their stuff. But as soon as it kicks off, we're just in the pit, and that's it. Circle pit, like off we go. I bump into my mate, end up doing the waltz in the pit with him. It's quite funny. But yeah, they played a lot, like mostly stuff off their new album, which I think is just like.
It was weighted heavily towards
Yeah, there was a good like 7 tracks off their album.
But what was good is that it wasn't the Aya tour.
No.
Which meant I think they had maybe a bit more freedom. To sort of, actually, they played less from Aya this time than when I saw them last
Right.
like,
Okay.
2 years ago on the Aya tour.
Yeah.
Which I think they've sort of made up with songs from Horizons and Deep Blue. They did, although there's no Deliver Me, which is fine. When you've got a song like Bottom Feeder, which is quite similar, it's okay.
You know, having like Carrion second is like, do you know what I mean? Like coming out with that early in the set, which is like one of their biggest tunes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the Writing on the Walls, you know, the big epic sort of
that was
like
amazing.
the dum dum with like the fucking risers. They're all stood on them, like the whole way through it, and not one of, and it's just like these moody lights, and then like as it all starts kicking off towards the end, it's just everything's going off. It's mental.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I knew about the Rage cover, but then like when I actually heard it,
it's massive.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Like that riff.
Yeah. Wow.
That was heavy,
yeah.
More the
yeah. Just the whole thing was that to me is like, I mean, a mate of mine there, he wasn't a massive fan of Parkway either, but he was just like, all of that production that was just metal as fuck.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone there was just, I can't say enough good things about it. I really fucking enjoyed
I think
it.
we're all in agreement there.
Yeah, and Crushed as well. Oh,
Crushed
fucking hell, what a song!
There's so many set highlights. Actually.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
They've just announced a North American tour, just going off a little bit.
Yeah.
With Wage War as support.
Oh, really?
Oh, man,
shit.
that'd be
That'd be good.
That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah. I've got a feeling we're probably not going to see Parkway back for a while.
Yeah, I think that's
because they've toured 2 years in a row now in the UK. They've toured IF now for 2.5 years or something.
I think that's fair for them to probably go away for
They'll
a while,
have a break.
Write an album. I mean, where do you go from there? I mean, this is like, for me, I
an
think
interesting step.
Yeah, I mean, there probably will be an interesting one, but I think that they had to write that album. I mean, they obviously were getting bigger and bigger anyway, but Deep Blue, I never really felt. I thought the production.
I like the songs,
fucking
but
awful on that album.
we were discussing
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
The production's very bassy,
Muddy,
So
muddy, yeah.
Muddy's the perfect word for that album. Yeah.
Just like over distorted, and then like the last album, Atlas, yeah.
I
It was
love that.
good.
yeah.
It was
Oh,
good,
amazing.
but like I think they were at danger of becoming just another metalcore band that were just because they were getting a bit
Possibly,
samey.
but they've got such a, I don't know how you describe their fan base. Loyal, I suppose.
Yeah.
They've got very loyal fans.
By the way, have you watched, before we move on, have you watched their DVD? It's on YouTube. If you
Home is for the Heartless.
yeah, well, it's basically that they travel. It's their world tour, and they each montage for each country they play like the music of the culture of that place.
Yeah.
Over like, and some of the shit that you see them getting up to, it's just like, even if you're not a musician, it just whilst you're watching that, you just want to go and travel the fucking world.
That's what
like,
inspired me a lot.
Really?
Watching that documentary, I was like, for me and my own travelling, I was like, fuck these guys.
And one really cool thing as well, because when you go to a big show, you get the fans, not fans, you get the people selling the fake merch outside.
Yeah.
And that is a debate in itself.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The band aren't making any fucking profit off that.
But they don't care.
But Parkway Drive in this DVD, they meet some people.
It's in Guatemala.
Yeah, is that in Mexico?
No, it's like Central America, and it's like one of the most crime-ridden,
poorest
poorest countries in the world.
And they're basically just there saying, "Oh, okay, well, someone starts trying to sell Parkway Drive a mug, and they're like." So you're trying to sell me merch for my own band?
Yeah.
A design that we've
They're like,
never
do
seen
we get a
before."
discount if you're in the band? And they haven't got a fucking clue who they are.
Yeah,
like, you know, can we get like 20% off or something? And they're like, what?
Yeah, it's really funny. But then they just turn around and they go, well, you know, if our name can help make them earn some money, then that's awesome.
Put some food.
And I was like, that's fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
to
they
be able to
don't
have that attitude.
care. Like, they don't give a fuck, do they?
Yeah,
And that's really cool.
yeah, great dudes. I think that whole show for me was just like, I know that they're not generically, they're a bit on the heavy side to be like a festival headliner.
Yeah.
But if they keep going where they're going with stuff like that, I mean, yeah, the whole upside down drum solo, as impressive as it was, it's all been done before.
Sure.
But like,
What
that's
song
the
was
way
he
they're
doing
going.
that for?
What's it called? Swing.
Fucking hell.
Swing.
So like a really...
It was the end of Swing, and then he went into this massive drum solo,
Okay.
and then they just came back. The rest of the band came back and just broke
Did
it
the
down.
encore.
Yeah,
And the encore was...
Crushed.
and
Bottom
Bottom
Feeder.
Bottom Feeder.
Yeah.
Fucking oh man, the last like 30 I've got a raging boner. I've been talking about this for like 10 minutes, but like the last 30 seconds, like I think you saw the video on Facebook. Like the last 30 seconds of that gig was just like
everybody's jumping. I can imagine the fire going. Like
everything's just going off. It's mad.
It's like I said when I shared that video on Facebook. I'm not a huge Parkway fan at all. But you can't not be impressed.
But you would have fucking loved it though.
I bet I would have done. I'm not.
And you'd have been in the pit as well, like, even if you're not.
Of course I would.
Yeah. Because it just gets you, and you just look in the venue like that, and you look around, and everybody's moving. You're like, okay, fuck this.
I fucking love gigs like
even
that.
those fucking barriers at Brixton.
Yeah.
Like you're probably gonna break.
I love that venue. Like,
I love. Brixton.
I forgot about the fucking barriers. Yeah, and I got shoved into one.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's fucking
just
horrible.
right in the middle, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so that was quite the gig.
So we're all in agreement there. Awesome.
Have we got any other gigs coming up?
While She Sleeps.
yeah,
Or
seeing
my
them
next one.
twice.
You're seeing them twice, yeah.
We're going to
That'd
the
be good to
Waterfront in Norwich.
round up.
You're going to the Dome in London,
Yeah,
which is above a pub.
which is above a pub.
You-
I'm gonna be drunk as shit,
Lucky bastard.
but it's gonna be amazing. And then seeing them at the Waterfront, which is such a small venue.
That'd be fucking awesome in itself, actually.
They're gonna fucking tear that place.
I'm gonna
apart.
guess that's sold out, right?
No.
No,
Oh, I'm gonna get on that. Then.
it's very
Awesome.
very close to selling out.
Oh, I'm
gotta
gonna
be.
get on that straight away.
I would do it now.
Do it now.
right now.
Right now.
Just get the phone out. Just get the old okay.
You son of a bitch.
Sorry, get his face off my screen. I'm going to see the Menzingers at Epic soon.
What is one of them?
A Menzinger?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it's a small insect of... what the fuck I'm talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
They're really
that's
cool.
something,
They're sort of gritty punk band, really catchy. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Excellent.
Next week.
Cool.
Right, topic.
Yeah,
We're
Talking
now,
of gigs.
talking of gigs,
Wait.
yeah, this is what brought me on to this. Right, this is the
Oh,
story
nicely
here.
timed, man. We're an hour in, but getting our topic.
Yeah, during Parkway, I wasn't going to go in the pit because I felt my ankle. And that's really bad.
what did you do to your ankle, mate?
I fell off a ladder.
Oh, fuck.
Twisted my ankle.
He rolled it.
Yeah,
Did you then walk under the ladder as well?
I might as
He
well have
maybe
done.
walked on it first, under it
Yeah.
first.
So at Rock City, I'm standing next to the sound desk on the edge of the step. All right, on the
Where
edge
we
of the
were
steps.
for Trivium.
Yeah,
same
near
spot,
that, near, a bit further around. And as the lights go down, this guy, way taller than me, which is not hard, but way taller than me, comes and stands right in front of me. Lights go down, brings out his phone, hits record. Alright, so I'm like, okay, fine. Like, there's a lot of people here, we're packed in. I'm looking around this guy, trying to
You watch it through his phone at this point.
yeah, like after a couple of seconds, I'm like now watching the gig through his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, alright, fine, whatever. And like, looking around him, watching the band. And then it got to 28 minutes,
Fucking hell.
and he's still recording. This is fucking ridiculous. I'm now watching the band live through his phone.
You may as well just watch it on TV.
They were streaming it live from Rock City website, or I think it was, or on YouTube or something like that. They were streaming it live.
Or he was on Facebook Live or some shit.
No, he wasn't. Rock City was actually.
Oh,
streaming
right. Oh,
it.
they were actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
I
might as
didn't
well
know that
just
was a thing then.
yeah, you might as well just stay at home and watch it through that.
Yeah.
But I'm now packed behind this massive guy. And fuck this! This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I barged past him, stood in front of the camera,
Give him the finger.
Gave him the finger. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, the more I play it back through my head, maybe it was a bit of a dick move, but
No, not at all.
Nah.
I mean, shit like that pisses me off. And
Well, considering it's a sold-out show, there are probably people, like
Yeah.
you were saying, people outside desperate for a ticket, and then there's this dude in there just what?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd take the odd picture and the odd 10-second clip maybe.
But why record the whole thing?
Why record the whole?
Well,
you're not
Yeah,
enjoying it.
well,
You're not immersing yourself
No,
in the
You know,
experience.
yeah, exactly. What? And you're just going to go home and watch that on your laptop? And be like, yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
You'll maybe watch it once and
Like any good memory from a gig I've got isn't on my phone or
It's
computer.
in the middle.
It's in my head.
Of that
Like, it's
pit.
in my mind.
Yeah.
Because they're the best moments. Because you're not distracted by anything else. You're literally focused 100% on what's going on.
I think it's just really bad, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Etiquette.
Yeah, it is.
It probably annoyed me more than it should have. I think it was because I had a decent spot, and then he pushed in front of me, and then I couldn't see, and then we just recorded it. But yeah, it did get on my nerves a bit.
I saw a thing on the internet a couple of weeks back, and it was this guy. He had a GoPro on the end of a selfie stick.
Oh,
and
fuck off!
No,
that's a little bit more considerate, I suppose.
No, but this guy, he was a huge bloke at a festival, and the photo, it was just a photo of him, and he's laying down on the grass eating a hot dog. He's got the selfie stick in the air, pointed at the stage, with his phone in his other hand. So I don't know how he's doing all this, but he's watching the gig.
Fuck off!
Through his iPad or his phone. He's laying on the ground. He's pointed it way above the crowd, and he's laying there on the grass watching the live performance through a screen.
That offends.
So he's got the audio and the visual.
That fucking offends me.
Can you believe that?
Oh.
See, do you know what,
And someone took a photo and was like, "Oh, if only there was like another screen he could watch the gig on," and there are just these two massive screens either side of the stage.
Or he could just use his goddamn eyes.
He could, but
here's the problem with my brain. It's like,
this could be extensive.
right? Yeah, it could be.
Give me another bit.
Here's the thing, right? I fully agree with you rinsing this guy. I fully agree with your statement. But whenever I see stupid shit when I'm at gigs or out in public anywhere, I always just think, okay, what are all the other variables? So you just mentioned that story, and then I just thought, okay, what if he's got a really bad leg so he can't actually stand up? Or like, did you ever hear about Kanye West talking to like his crowds? Like, I'm not going to do this next song until you all stand up. And there's this one guy in a wheelchair can't fucking stand up, and he refuses to play. And then he's like, oh, he's in a wheelchair. Oh, my bad.
Yes.
You never know the full extent of like.
Yeah,
this shit.
okay.
And
That's
like,
true.
and-
I mean, I look at that photo and I see that's just a fat bloke laying down who's just too lazy to watch.
Agreed.
The gig with his
yeah,
own
that
eyes.
probably is, yeah. And like another part of it is just kind of like, well, who the fuck am I to tell anyone what to do with their equipment? Like,
But this debate is sort of covering the
Do's and don'ts.
the do's and don'ts, and technology is such a huge part of
Just
lives
get a
in
grip on
general
it,
now.
yeah.
So it's like in a live capacity, how are we adapting to
don't get me
to
wrong, like
technology?
I took a couple of decent, ish shots. I got one photo I was really happy with the Parkway gig.
Yeah.
I took a couple of Snapchats because I was just like, and then at the same time you just said the best moments are when you're just losing it and you're not thinking about it. And I hate it when I see people taking Snapchats and documenting everything. 'Cause I'm just like, no one fucking cares.
Just fucking live.
But then I sometimes like, okay, I'll think to myself, all right, well, I'm going to do it from this one song because it's part of that I fucking love.
Yeah,
and the people that I know that watch my stuff, I kind of want to share with them.
Sure.
And I was also asked to do like a little Instagram story on the magazine as well. So I did like one bit and then forgot about it.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah, but that's not
split
taking over.
No.
That's the difference.
Yeah. So for that split second, someone could look at me and go, "Oh, there's another fucking idiot on his phone." But like, at the end of the day, I know at least for myself, I've got enough of a handle on it to just get the balance between, okay, I've got a couple of good photos, I've got a Snapchat, and for the rest of it, I'm going fucking mental.
Yeah.
But I'd quite happy not do any of that and still enjoy it as well.
Sure.
So, yeah, gig etiquette in general though, this could go on to loads of different things. I mean, like,
It could.
I think that the whole obsession with sharing your experience, we live our lives in like a forum. Like, you see something cool, you're in a cool new place you've never been before, you want to take a photo of it. You see other people taking a photo of a band, or like you're at the front of the venue and it's got their name there, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get a photo as well. But like, it's the whole self-indulgence aspect of it that I can't stand. Like, I think a classic clip that I saw was a fan getting on stage with Keith from Every Time I Die.
Fucking excellent.
Starts trying to take a
footage.
selfie with him, and he just fucking flings the phone out of his hand.
And carries on as if nothing has happened.
Yeah, and it,
Good.
you know, a lot of people that don't go to gigs are probably like, what a fucking asshole. But no, it's like, it's not about you. It's you are there to pay to watch people perform. It's you then trying to take a selfie. You're trying to make it about yourself, and it's not. You know, you're paying the artist to go and do their thing. So fucking enjoy that. And I think another one I saw of was go on YouTube and look up Akon throws kid off stage. So
What?
if you remember that R&B singer Akon, who's fucking like mainstream club music or whatever, playing a gig somewhere, and this kid's like giving him a bit of abuse and shouting some shit or throws like a bottle on stage, and he stops the song and goes, "Alright, who's that? Can you point him out?" And everyone points out where this kid is. Right, get up here on stage. And then he like comes forward. They all push him up on stage. Akon picks him up, puts him over his shoulder, and fucking throws him back into the crowd like a fucking, it's like some sort of wrestling
shit.
Yeah. And then he just comes by and he's like, well, as I was saying. And then he just carries on. And it's like, it's so fucking hilarious. Like, it literally tosses him like he's nothing. Like,
Good.
But that is the shit that I love to see, because it's just like, yeah, respect the people that you're going to see.
I mean, at the end of the day, why would you try and make it about you? Like, you paid money to go and see these people.
Yeah.
Surely you enjoy what you are there for. Don't be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Just fucking enjoy yourself.
This is something Anders from In Flames on his DVD.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was before they even started. He came on stage and said he doesn't want to see people watching this gig through their phone.
Yeah.
Because they're going to record it and put it on DVD. We want you to see
Oh,
it.
okay. So there's a
He
different.
basically
see
said
it through your own
this whole
eyes
thing
and
is
enjoy
being
it.
recorded. Enjoy the experience, and then you can watch it afterwards instead of
Yeah.
finding a shitty copy of it on YouTube,
Yeah.
which is perfectly valid.
Yeah.
And I guarantee people still took photos and still got
Probably,
it.
yeah. Never ever going to stop it.
Yeah.
But there you go. Other do's and don'ts. I don't know if you heard someone is suing a venue because he got beaten with a skateboard.
What?
What?
He got beaten with a skateboard at a Hell Yeah gig. I can't remember what venue it was. I only saw it today.
What fucking idiot let a skateboard in?
I don't know.
Why would you
But-
take a skateboard to a gig?
That's probably a don't. That's
I think we can chart that up as a don't.
Yeah.
No skateboards.
No skateboards. Let's put yours away,
Yeah.
Fisher.
Don't beat people with a skateboard.
I think you can apply
is
that
a-
to the wider
yeah.
world in general.
At the Brixton Academy, there is a skate park
Sons of
literally
Anarchy
behind the
just
venue.
popped straight in there.
Hmm?
Sons of Anarchy just popped straight into my head there.
Yeah.
Beating with skateboards.
Yeah, don't do it.
Trucks to the face, no thanks.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Fuck.
That.
That's
Another
insane.
don't. I think just leave your fucking backpack outside.
Here you go, Fisher's
no,
pet
no
peeve.
backpacks.
They fuck me off.
Yeah.
It costs you £1 to put it in a cloak.
They rub me up the wrong way, quite literally. The amount of times I've been barged past and this huge backpack follows and just twats me in the face.
One man and a backpack is two people.
Yeah.
You could just look at, oh, there's another person in a backpack. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh, just look at
You
him as
need
a
to
fat
buy
fucker.
another ticket for your backpack.
It's a
Yeah,
very,
you're
Or
two
put it in
people.
the cloakroom.
Yeah.
it's a very annoying +1.
Oh, mate. Alright, if we're going to go pet peeves, like, these are like smaller, more pet peeve based, but couples that stand on the edge of the mosh pit, right? There's always the guy that's like, you know, I'm the leader of this relationship.
Oh, and they get so protective.
Right, yeah, and they've got their
Like-
arms, they're literally holding the girlfriend from behind, holding their stomach like they're expecting or something. If you're fucking don't go in a pit if you're expecting. Like,
That's a don't.
Yeah,
That's a don't.
yeah.
Don't mosh while pregnant.
And then you see the look on the dude's face when someone gets knocked into him or his girlfriend.
Not even
and
knocked
it's-
into, but within like half a foot,
Yeah.
they're like,
Or like the
When did this happen? Right?
Yeah.
When did this become a thing? Because surely this is a genre of music that people know what to expect at a metal gig. You know it's going to get a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
It's going to get a bit leery. There's going to be a pit.
Yeah.
At what point do you think, yeah, no, me and my small fragile girlfriend will go stand at the
this
edge
big
of the
circle
pit.
here.
Oh, look at what's happened. Don't you come near me.
Yeah.
Don't you come near me. Fuck off.
What are you doing this weekend, mate? Oh, me and my small fragile girlfriend to go to see Suffocate.
Do you remember that time I tried to push in front of that girl and... Well, I wasn't even trying to push in front. I was
We were just trying to
make
get
my
down to
way
the pit.
it,
That's
and,
what we were doing.
She was like adamant I wasn't going past. She's
Yeah,
like, I've
no.
been here for 3 hours. Who the hell do you think you are trying to go in front of me? I was like, I'm just trying to get in the pit.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend thought it was hilarious, so you called her a tart.
Thanks for mentioning that.
What a great insult. You tart. You bloody tart.
Do not call her a tart. Do not call her a fucking tart.
So that's a do. Let people past.
Yeah, not
If
do
someone-
call
if
people's
someone's
girlfriends tarts.
Oh no, that is a don't.
That's a don't. I like to go on record to say I regret that.
He's learned from his mistakes. He's a changed man.
Yeah. Other
Moving
do's.
on.
Help people up off
Help
floor in a
people
pit.
up, which is very. You're going to fall over.
I have to say
Pit
that
etiquette,
that
man.
rule, picking someone up as they fall, I feel that has been
I've
impeccably observed
I got
in my
pushed-
last 12 years of going to gigs. I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
someone fall down and not be picked up.
It's not often you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
someone
yeah,
who's
yeah.
a massive fucking douchebag in a pit.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen anyone get trampled.
Parkway gig.
Within seconds,
Parkway gig, I
People
slipped
are up.
because the floor was wet.
yeah.
And before I even hit the floor,
Yeah.
someone's picked me up.
It's such a well-known thing at metal gigs now.
Also,
Like,
not long after I slipped, the girl fell over and she was on the floor like completely like, flat.
Yeah.
And she put her hands over her head, and then again people just like spread out around her.
yeah.
And you see it happen. in pits all
My
the
shoelace come undone, and I was.
And someone was doing my shoelaces up.
I bent down to do my shoelaces.
And there's
up.
already a guy there.
No, I stood up, and there were 3 people with their arms out, made space around me for it, and I stood up and was like, "Cheers, guys! It's amazing."
I love it. Like whenever you see someone go down, I've been in that situation where I've seen someone go down. You quite clearly cannot get to them in time to pick them back up, and you just see people just fucking dive at them, basically.
Yeah.
And they're just like ripping people out of the way.
It's like
I want to help them. Get out of the way.
yeah, and then it becomes a brawl. It's like then it's more dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying last week about the whole community spirit of gigs. I think,
Absolutely.
and actually this gig I went to on Saturday, we were talking about phones. I saw less people on their phones at a metal show than I have in recent years because everyone was just going nuts.
You know it's a good show.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
it's-
but I've noticed definitely recently that people. When I was younger and went to metal shows, I felt maybe it's because I was smaller and fragile, but I
Who
remember
was your boyfriend?
he was fucking winking at me. Well, I just remember feeling like quite intimidated when I first used to go to like heavy shows, and it was always like just quite intense. But now it seems to be everyone's quite respectful of each other. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always the one dickhead. There's always one, but like for the most part, and you see people just chatting, getting along, and about just
It's
you
just
do
a
make
really friendly
strangers,
atmosphere.
right? Yeah. Mm.
Well, you say there's always that one dickhead. When we saw Devil Drive
Yeah.
in Nottingham,
Yeah,
and there
that was that one
knobhead
dickhead.
in the pit, and he picked up what can only be described as a child, and was just throwing him at the floor. Like this kid was in the pit. I mean, right, Devil Driver pits are aggressive.
Yeah.
They are, but this guy was just like going for this really small
Yeah,
guy.
and he kept
and
going
just-
through over and over.
yeah,
as well.
just kept picking him up and just throwing him like as hard as he could, and we were just like,
If he does it one more time, we're going in.
yeah,
The mosh police.
Suddenly turn into the mosh police.
Yeah.
yeah. I
We
mean,
do need the mosh police.
I mean, you know,
Then he stopped.
he didn't go back in that pit.
we ruined him.
You clotheslined him.
I think you
I
need.
did.
I think a lot of this stuff is just a bit of common sense, being a generally decent human being. Like
Yeah.
I saw Lower Than Atlantis in Lincoln when I was in uni there, and I was right at the front. It was just like quite a smallish venue,
Yeah.
like sort of, but it wasn't like the lighting was just on the stage. So if you've ever played like a show when you're on stage and you've got the lights that are just there,
Yeah, you can't
in
see
front of
anything.
you can't really see the crowd.
Yeah.
There's no headlights there. And this girl that was in front of me, there's a couple of security guards there, but there was no barrier.
Right.
They were just in front of the stage.
Okay.
And this girl kept like jabbing the security guard,
What?
like just playfully, and was just like, I think she's a bit pissed, and she was just trying to kind of like get him out of the way because he was obviously just there, obnoxiously, like, Anyway, this security guard had finally got enough of it. This girl started literally like punching the security guard in the shoulder. So he grabs her and like launches her away. And Mike, being the sort of like aggy bloke that he is, sees the security guard shoving a girl, and he throws his guitar on the floor and just launches himself at the security guard and starts going for him. The whole band chuck all of their stuff on the floor, and they're like, "No, this isn't okay." And that's like looking after your fans. So it's like that's the right thing. But having played on stage so often and seeing like how hard it can be to actually see what's going on, there lies a bit of an issue. So it's good to have people in the crowd that can just look out for each other, I think.
Yeah, sure.
So for me, that was like such a tragic thing to watch because it was such a misunderstanding.
Because she
was antagonising the security guard.
Yeah.
You know, she brought it on herself.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, don't hit a woman.
That's a don't.
Is that a don't?
That's a don't.
How do we feel about? And obviously, this is an issue that's changed a bit since the Randy Blythe thing, but. Stage diving, getting on stage. You as a performer, Danny.
I've had my pedals like all fucked up. I've had mics falling over on top of me. Shit. But for me, that's the nature of sweaty punk shows. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I'm not fucking Randy Blythe.
But you haven't
as a fan. You do it at your own risk.
You haven't spent 31 days in a Czech Republic prison.
I don't think I have. No. But no, like
because it's a shame, and obviously since Dimebag and that tragic set of events, the crowd control now is unfortunately at the forefront because, like we've mentioned, that minority of dickheads that want to kind of ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I love stage diving. I did it at the Bleeding Through gig with Camp and Underworld. It's an awesome experience. You're up on stage with the band.
Fuck, I forgot about that. You were up there twice.
Yeah. It's just cool.
And they're rocking out. I was like, what's that Fisher?
Yeah, for like 5 seconds you're on stage with them, and then you're back in the crowd, and that's a bit of fun, and no one gets hurt.
As long as you don't linger, you just get up and you jump off. Like, I guess you're on stage and they're like your idols. You just want to like grab the fucking singer's mic and start singing with them. But it's not about you, is it? It's like about, if you're there to stage dive, if you're gonna stay there, you got to expect the band to just shove you back off. Like,
I mean, they were inviting it Bleeding Through because it was their last ever UK show, so they were kind of inviting that stuff on. But I think generally, as a rule, since the Randy incident, they've had to just say,
"Don't get on stage."
Don't get on stage, and
it's safer for everyone.
To stick with today's theme of hardcore, this is like a big part of hardcore is the whole crowd participation. It's what makes it that kind of
absolutely.
The togetherness. Like, I mean, if you go back to early hardcore shows, just looking at footage of it, you see people just as soon as the band start, like they haven't even hit a note and everyone's there like chanting the words together, or like bodies on top of bodies just fucking launching over each other. And it's like, when you're there, you get caught up in it when you're that diehard of a fan. Yeah. But then when you watch it back, you're like, I'm starting to get a bit old now. I don't want to be trampled on the face. That's when bad shit starts happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I have seen go with the stage diving. Not stage diving, more crowd surfing, where someone's crowd surfed, but there was no one at the front to capture it.
Yeah.
And so they just go straight over the barrier and hit the floor. I think that was at UEA.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, who was that for? I can't remember. But
again, common sense. If you're 30 stone, don't jump.
Saw this guy go up. I was like, "There's no security at the front there," and then he just vanishes.
He reached the barrier, and once you're up there, you've got no control of where you're going or how fast you're going there.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I hate crowd surfers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying don't do it. It's all part of the experience. I've never crowd surfed myself, but I fucking hate enjoying a show and then suddenly I've got a shoe in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me, I didn't come here for concussion.
Yeah. It's funny because we're all quite short blokes, but I find that the amount of gigs that I've been to over the years, and some of the bands, like, think about bands that like Trash Talk, who are just known for being insane live bands. Like, they come out. I remember when I saw Trash Talk at the Waterfront, guitarist walks out for no reason at all, decides to just stare at a random guy in the crowd, and he just like singles him out. And he's just such an intimidating looking bloke, and he just walks over the barrier and just at him, like just to start, just for no reason whatsoever, just to kind of get the mood going. Like, once you're in with the crowd straight away, everyone's gonna go nuts. And you see people crowd surfing, you're like, that's not me, but it amps you up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it kind of, you start seeing people doing crazy shit, and it makes you want to start getting involved. It's the same as when I used to play, not so much in my band now, but like, we used to play sort of metal shows. I'd be more worried about putting on a good performance than standing there playing note for note perfect. The more I moved, I'd notice everyone else in the band would start moving as well. It's like it's just an energetic thing, isn't it? You encourage each other by what you the energy you give out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Fisher here is notorious for crowd surfing.
I love it.
I remember seeing Bodham in
Yeah.
Norwich, Children of Bodham, and we're standing there watching the band. Like, we've got a really good view, me and Rob, and like, well, Fisher's down in the crowd somewhere, and then suddenly you just see this guy crowd surfing backwards. 2 thumbs up, big cheesy grin. Ah, there he is.
I remember looking at you two waving back like, I'm okay. I crowd surfed at my first ever gig. Every festival, I love a bit of crowd surfing.
It's quite cool when you're at a festival somewhere where it's really, really busy, and it's not like there's no risk of you being dropped.
No, and
you're just floating around for ages.
It's awesome, the view you get, that first view of the entire crowd, and you're up on everyone's shoulders, and you're like, you can just see a sea of heads, and it's fucking awesome. I love it.
I remember crowd surfing to Damage Plan at my first download experience.
Fuck off! Don't
nice.
fucking
Walk. We played Walk, watching my idol on stage, like. It's such a crazy thing to be able to even say that I saw Dimebag play live.
Yeah,
like, the same year.
Same man.
You know, and that was
thanks, you bastards.
my first crowd surfing experience, and that was
Wow.
again, you know, sort of set the bar a bit high, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, this is a topic we could talk about for ages, like, you know, gig etiquette, because there is like, even things like, if you want to get in front of someone, don't fucking, you know, just keep jumping into their back. I've had that. I've had guys like jumping with their elbows out just they want to get past me.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say it results in a punch in the face.
I'll always let someone through, you know.
You're there for the same reason.
A simple
Don't
tap,
be a dick
simple tap
about
on the
it.
shoulder. Oh,
Yeah.
alright mate, yeah, you want to get down the front, I understand that. That's fine. But
If you put your hand out in front of you, that kind of tends to signify where you're going. You know?
Yeah.
If you just go in like
these
head first.
just the amount of times you've just had like drunk people barging their way through, and you're standing there back to them, so you have no idea that they're about to
be
you.
a cunt.
And it's just like, mate, what the fuck? Like that happens a lot, so yeah.
I think this whole thing, all of the gig etiquette comes from experience. Just like the more you go, the more you learn sort of how to behave, really.
Yeah, just respect other people.
And I was just going to say about, you know, we were just saying about how we're like not the biggest of blokes. It's sort of, it's one of those things. I'm quite surprised over the years that I've managed to be in the amount of mosh pits that I have without getting knocked over. I'm a scrawny fucker.
Quite frankly, I'm surprised I haven't died.
Yeah. Well, or there's a dramatic option from each year. So yeah.
I don't know whether at the recent Parkway gig, whether the gig was sort of, or the pit was tame, or whether I've just gotten used to mosh pits, because I really didn't think it was that rough.
No,
It wasn't that rough. I think we know how to
Just know
how to be in it. Yeah.
Do you know what it is? And this is going back to today's topic of hardcore. Hardcore dancing is, I've noticed a decline of it, which is great because, and I guess that is the part of the style of the music, the swing, the bounce, and the whole two-step thing, which looks fucking
And
hilarious.
it's fucking lethal.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
whole spin kick in, and like I'm past it. And I was never into that anyway.
Yeah.
And there's something, if we're going to talk about image in music next week, there's definitely something to do with hardcore that I'd like to touch on. And you know what's expected of you as a sort of audience or fan member. You know,
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
enjoy it without being. What happened to a good old school mosh where you just bounced around and jumped into each other?
I've seen a good example of hardcore dancing at Download during God Forbid. And,
that
and
was
he
rough.
this guy
But he
was
got taken
swinging
out.
around, swinging around doing all these kicks, and this one guy just came up and gored him.
Yeah, he fucking
Like,
nailed it.
No, don't do that. You're hurting people.
Yeah,
And
You're
like, it's
dangerous.
just not cool.
Yeah.
that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, violence is a don't. Don't do violence.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was a weird phase, the whole hardcore dance. I remember seeing... who was it? I think it was The Sorrow supporting As Lay Dying.
yeah, I think
And there was a lot of that shit going on there.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd ever really seen it. To see it like 3 feet away from you, you're like, one of those fists.
Even as a metal
It's
fan,
just
even as
gonna-
someone that's like been in it for a while, you imagine what someone that's like not into like you know,
Yeah.
alternative music, and goes and sit. That's no wonder they think, oh, it's all violent.
Yeah.
You know, it does look like aggressive,
Yeah.
but
I'm
it's
kind
all
of
part of the territory, I suppose.
yeah. I'm kind of glad that's died a death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like gigs at the moment have become friendlier, or maybe it might just be me getting older and being a little bit like more fearless, I guess.
Yeah. But then I've always felt at home at gigs. I've always
Yeah.
feel like I've been amongst my own people.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
They're just surrounded by like-minded people, though.
It's a load of sweaty dudes.
No, but you know, we're all there for the
Man,
same
living
reason.
man.
Release the Slayer fans.
Alright. So yeah, I think that's a good.
Cool. Shall we get on to our game then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Right, so yeah, hardcore.
I really enjoyed this.
What do we have? Right, before we begin, what do we have to say about hardcore?
I think
What's our take on it?
it's evolved for the better.
Okay.
Going like when I was searching for bands, I came across bands like Biohazard, Terror, and a band called like Blood for Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found them.
Sick of it all.
And so, yeah, and they're very they're almost borderline skinhead punk.
Yeah.
I found the production back then was just fucking awful as well.
And a lot of these hardcore bands are formed early 90s, maybe
Yes.
even late 80s.
Yeah.
And I think it's evolved from that very well.
Mhm. It's grown.
Because I wanted to find an older hardcore band to show everyone,
Mhm.
but the newer stuff, well, it's just more relevant
Yeah.
to me
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
this
a
this
lot
whole
better.
section isn't necessarily like a history lesson. It's more about kind of just like
Finding
shedding light on something that you might not be into as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely derived from that kind of like, I guess like the whole punk mentality of anti-establishment, but yet kind of like sticking together as a community. Like,
Yeah.
If you look at like lyrics to like hardcore bands, it's often the same things of like, you know, just the cheesy kind of cliches of standing for something and my friends and you know like
It's
all about the same
community-
shit.
community
Like,
I
based
hate
or-
my town.
yeah.
Or just standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
As well. Very sort of self-empowering, I suppose.
It's great Aggie music to work out to.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Or to
Carries-
chop some wood to.
Carries a very positive sort of message. A lot of the time, hardcore. There's a band called way back in the 80s called Bad Brains.
Yeah.
Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
Famously wrote a song called PMA, which is like
Positive mental attitude.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where hardcore has sort of based itself around, is a positive mental attitude about like overcoming this.
You look at
that,
how
or
it's
whatever.
evolved into like the whole straight edge culture.
Yeah, straight edge associations, stuff like that. Yeah, I've delved into hardcore over the last 10 years or so. I've
Yeah.
dabbled here and there.
Dabble.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly prefer it to black metal.
Well, it
Keep in touch with the game.
I like the subgenres. It is a cult. It's a lifestyle. The whole straight edge thing was such a big movement in
Yeah.
the, you know, in the early mid '90s and stuff. It became, you know, the amount of people that tattooed themselves and that was the whole vegan movement, the whole sort of animal rights, all of it sort of goes hand in hand with straight edge and that sort of music. And it's good that it comes from a good place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So who's found some bands I want to share then?
Well, Fisher, you can go first because you're the first sample I have up.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. That's fine. My band are called First Blood. They're from San Francisco, formed in 2002, and have a brand new album out called Rules this year. This month.
I
Even.
did have a look at the track list through that.
Every
And every
single
track.
title has the word rules in it. We have rules of justice, rules of government, just rules.
Just rules.
Just a bit of subliminal message in there.
Yeah.
Band fucking rule.
Yeah, rules.
Yeah, do you want to hear a bit?
This sample fucking rules.
Yeah.
So
It's
the
awesome.
volume's alright.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm very happy with my choice. Just
Yeah.
want to say that
Alright.
I really enjoyed this one.
So this is First
yeah.
Blood.
Here we go.
Any second.
Any second now.
Faith in government defies.
Yeah, I mean that's really on the fringe of making you pull some mean faces, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see that live and like how that's just made for a live
I
environment.
know
didn't mind that.
I know that riff, that kind of double bass beat is quite overdone maybe in hardcore, but again, I'll always, I think, try and do the same thing every week with this game and try and find a band that has got just that little something extra.
Yeah.
And that kind of bit of music over the top, that second guitar that's doing something else, adding a bit more depth. And that's what I found with First Blood. And yeah, that little track you heard there sort of carries itself right the way through the album.
Are they a band that you will continue to listen to going on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really happy with that find.
Yeah, from that one segment, I actually will
just heavy as fuck, really ballsy. Yeah, very enjoyable. Really enjoyed that. So
Yeah,
It wasn't bad.
yeah.
All right, Danny.
Okay, cool. Well,
Who have you got?
with this week's one, it's worth pointing out that we try and talk about subgenres that we're not really into. I've dabbled in hardcore as well over the years. I wouldn't say you can kind of overdose on it. It can be very samey in places. I went to Heavy Fest, when it was in the early days. I think they had a few years they did it, but that was such a hardcore centric festival. And I found that the whole scene is so well encapsulated from that festival, but it was just too much of the same thing. So I tried to pick a band that was something a little bit different to what I would normally, call a hardcore band. So I found Hellions, who are a band I've heard of, and this track is called Hellions off their Indian Summer album, which came out only 2 years ago. Cool.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
I like that.
I am on board with that.
Yeah, that's a lovely little riff.
That's a nice, sexy riff, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, now I wonder whether you're going to be on board with the rest of it. See, like why I said that I'd pick something a bit different is I ended up listening to both of their albums, and it's very diverse as far as hardcore is concerned. I mean, that was from their first full length on UNFD record label. That's 2013. They're from Sydney in Australia. Australia.
Mate.
Australia. And they've got a new one out from last year called Opera Oblivia, and it's just much more kind of, I guess the name sums it up, it's much more kind of like grand in scale. You've got huge choruses, you've got a lot of heavy rock sort of elements in there, and you've even got things like bongos going on in there, and shit that you wouldn't associate with hardcore at all. But I think that's kind of why I picked them out, because it's just a little bit different, and I think it's good to see a hardcore band branch out and sort of, I guess in the same sense when I mentioned like the choruses, if you look at like even A Day to Remember, like they have massive hardcore influences in their breakdowns and stuff, and it's they were one of the them and 4 Year Strong as well in the pop punk sort of category that really crossed over metal and hardcore into that. I think these bands are important to kind of gateway these subgenres.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna carry on listening to them. I mean, that was just a metal riff through and through. You could have mistaken that for like a While She Sleeps riff easily.
Yeah.
But whilst I'm on it, I want to shout out my favourite sort of hardcore bands, like honestly through and through. Comeback Kids. I just mentioned While She Sleeps. Their album Symphony and the Something, whatever it's called. That is so where Loz got his inspiration from.
Yeah.
I saw him in a little club in Lincoln after that same gig at the festival they played, and he got thrown out because him and Sean, the guitarist, were throwing themselves into the sofas to one of their songs on Comeback Kids album. It was really funny to see. They just do it so perfectly, like the way that they subtly mix like melody into their hardcore. Stick to Your Guns as well. Like I just think there's no one better doing it at the moment. And if you want something a bit more on the melodic side of it, definitely check out Defeater. And
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they are really like, I want to say emo, but kind of just like, just pained as fuck lyrics, and the same with Touche Amore as well. They like, honestly, their new album is about the singer's mother's death, and it's just like,
they're playing Download.
Go fucking see Touche Amore. Honestly, like, I hadn't heard of them, saw them live, and I was turned straight away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, unless they clash with like Andrew WK or something, then that's a bit more uplifting. But yeah, I could talk about hardcore for a while, so I'll let you go.
I'll go next. Alright, yeah, my band I found is called Obey the Brave, and this sample I've got for you is a song called Get Real, which like instantly jumped out for me.
Get real.
My dabbling in hardcore probably goes as far as
That's dabbing.
Oh, sorry.
no.
Just want to piss off Lisa.
I would slap you in the teeth.
Probably goes just as far as Throwdown and Hatebreed. Maybe old style, Your Demise, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, only Your Demise is the shit.
Yeah.
They got really bad really quick.
Really bad, really quick.
They had a
Yeah.
complete demise.
I shall show you some of Obey the Brave. Yeah.
You know it's hardcore when it's got gang vocals.
When it's got gang vocals and jumpy double bass.
Yeah, what was that double bass at the end there? That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, formed in 2012, so they're fairly new. They've got 2 albums out. One called Young Blood, which is what that's from, and Salvation.
Yeah.
They got a brand new song out called On Your Own, which came out I think last month. I think it was. So they got a new album coming out this year. They have toured.
So it's going to be 3 albums in 5 years.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
They are on tour in Europe, not the UK, with Comeback Kid, North Lane, D's Nuts,
What
These
a
nuts.
fucking tour.
and Chelsea Grin.
Wow.
Yeah. They've toured with
That's a hell of a tour.
Miss My, We Come As Romans, Stick to Your Guns, Whitechapel, Amure.
Alright, so they're
Yeah.
well in there. with
In
the
that
rest.
short amount of time, they.
Yeah. I heard them last
almost-
night after you said that they were your band. You said check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, really impressed.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
really, really impressed.
like with all these bands, like we know I haven't listened to yours at least. 30 seconds.
Excuse me, guys.
30,
Just forgot that I was here for a while.
30 seconds don't give these bands enough justice.
No, it doesn't.
But
Yeah, that was the fucker, because I was trying to find a decent 30-second clip that encapsulated all of what I was
See,
trying
this
to
is
get
the
across.
difference with hardcore and black metal. Black metal, I was struggling to find 30 seconds
seconds.
at all.
If I
Here
could-
we're trying to condense.
if I could
I have to
reiterate-
admit, like, I agree with you there. Like, it isn't enough to do it justice.
No.
For me, I think it's just because it's closer to the sort of music that I listen to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Whereas black metal was
Yeah.
so far
Just to
away.
make a point, I think I posted in our little group chat, can I please have 20 seconds rather than 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And then,
I wouldn't allow
and
it.
then, yeah, the podcast Nazi told me no.
Little Adolf Smith over there.
yeah. But yeah, check them out. Obey the Brave. Really good.
That's
Alright,
right.
I'm not looking at you. Who have you got for us, Luke?
I've gone with Employed to Serve. I think it's safe to say that I'm really the odd one out with my choice here.
This was odd.
Nasty hardcore.
Yeah, like they describe
Nasty
themselves as nasty hardcore. I would have
Real
gone with
nasty.
post-hardcore. I know it seems like every week since we've been doing this game, I've gone, well, I'm not really a fan. I've never really dabbled in hardcore. Hardcore in general, just like
Yep.
it doesn't do a huge amount for me because a lot of it sounds so similar.
It's quite basic.
Yeah,
Generally,
Yeah.
it's quite sort of.
It's more about the bounce than it.
Yeah, I'm not
energy.
saying it's bad. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, apart from Hatebreed, I can't stand Hatebreed.
Yeah, this is now. No shit, it's not tomorrow.
It's
is it?
just honestly, it all sounds the same to me. Like it all seems to have that same sort of beat, and I can't. It just doesn't do it for me. Whereas bands like Employed to Serve, like going down like that post-hardcore sort of route, there's a lot of diversity there. They're bands that seem to take more of like a hardcore influence rather than being straight out hardcore themselves.
Okay.
I love this band. I really, really do. They remind me a lot of Palm Reader as well.
Oh, great band, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
As I said earlier, I'm looking forward to their album.
Give me a clip, Rob.
Right, here we go.
Very Converge.
Dirty fucking
If
breakdown
that isn't
there.
a kick in the balls, I don't know what it
Hang
is.
about,
That's awesome.
They've got a girl singer as well.
Yeah, it's another female-fronted hardcore band.
You heard Oathbreaker as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I
good.
didn't like them when I saw them live.
Really.
Didn't like
Female
Oathbreaker.
fronted. Who else is there?
It
There's
just seems like the one I mentioned earlier. We Ride as well. And there's a lot of like sort of.
there's one.
I have to admit, I didn't realise that was a female vocalist at first.
There's a gingerhead hardcore vocalist.
Are you thinking of
Ed Sheeran.
Well known
Jericho.
for.
Walls of Jericho?
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Walls of Jericho, yeah.
I mean, that band, they're UK based. I believe they started on, I can tell you what label they started out on Grindcore Karaoke.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean they've supported. I think they've supported Funeral for a Friend actually, which is a really bizarre choice of support for a band like that. But they've got one album out already. You said earlier that they have another album coming out
In May.
Yeah, it is going to be a beast of an album.
May 19th. There you go.
It is. I mean, that album alone, like they've had an EP, 2 EPs before.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I love it. Like, I love the hardcore influences. I'm not so much a fan of out and out hardcore, but that, yeah.
Cool.
That was a great guitar tone. It was just dirty. I love it. I just love raw recordings like that. Man. Yeah. All about that.
Awesome.
Alright, cool, yeah. So hardcore was a
Success.
success.
At least we've had a success.
Yeah.
Great
1 in
success.
3.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I've had 2 out of 3. I'm still going with Chelsea Green from.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not bothered with deathcore since.
I have listened to the Voyage Code a couple of times.
I
actually.
don't hate myself.
Oh, they're the Running Through the Woods band.
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just when I was off running through the woods. Right, moving on quickly then. An all killer, no filler.
Right.
From you.
This week,
Fisher.
keeping with the hardcore theme.
This is a very good choice.
Yeah, actually, not meaning to.
you know?
I'd already picked this before we'd picked the genre challenge.
Oh, 1 second.
Genre. Yeah.
What genre are we going to do next week?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, off the top of my head, thrash, but might be a bit
Thrash.
Yeah.
too.
okay.
Might be a bit.
I'm happy with thrash.
Thrash.
Thrash it is.
Thrash. Cool.
Very
Thrash. Yeah, all killer.
Right. Keeping with the theme of hardcore.
Accidentally.
This week. Accidentally, I picked this album before we knew it was going to be a hardcore week. This album is by a band called Throwdown. It's called Venom and Tears.
Yeah.
It's a hell of an album. One of my favourite albums of the last 10 years.
Am I right in thinking this is their penultimate album They had one album after that, and that was it. I think,
No.
wasn't it? No.
They've had 2 more since.
Because they've been split up for quite a while now, haven't they? So.
It was after their break, weren't it?
Yeah.
First one back.
Not sure. It was after Vendetta. If they broke after Vendetta, then
After Vendetta.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because they're Venom and Tears, Deathless, then they came out with
Intolerance.
which
Intolerance.
was
Right,
far too hardcore for me.
we'll get onto that. But Venom and Tears, from start to finish, blew my fucking mind. And the icing on the cake, I think, was a Sepultura cover as a bonus track. They covered Refuse Resist, which is fucking amazing. Starts off with Holy Roller. Now the direction Throwdown went with this album was a very, very Pantera-esque
Yeah, I remember picking that
vibe.
massively.
And to me, it's one of the finest metal albums. One of my personal favourites of the last 10 years. Holy
so
Roller, really thrashy groove, just fucking. It's got elements of hardcore, but it's not a hardcore album. It's just an out and out metal.
I remember you making me listen to this because I really didn't want to, because I was never a Throwdown fan. And you put that on, and like just those opening few seconds of Holy Roller, I was like, holy shit!
It's like very fast, instantly kind of grabs you, and you're like, oh, okay, what the fuck is this? Then goes into Day of the Dog, which is a bit slower. That's probably the most sort of hardcore-esque song on the album. Picks up again with Americana, Weight of the World. Goes into a personal favourite on the album, Scum.
Scum is my favourite.
That's my favourite track on the album as well.
Fucking amazing. And slow, dirty, heavy breakdown at the end.
You can really notice the Pantera influence there. I mean, we saw them at Download, and I was almost getting the like. It was actually kind of scary, like not to call it like a rip off, but the similarities between him and Phil and Soma. Like he was very commanding.
Had the skinhead, had the physique almost, and the body language of Phil.
It was like a sort of like predecessor in a way. But it's still fucking great. Like
it's still an awesome album. Another track, Hellbent.
That was the
one I showed you, I think, in the beginning.
I mean, that's a very hardcore song, to be fair.
It is.
But it's so fucking punchy.
But it's very groove based as well. It's more leaning towards Devil Driver, Pantera, Lamb of God metal as opposed to Hatebreed, gang vocally kind of.
It just makes you want to break shit.
Or
people.
So just a 10 out of 10 album for me. I fucking love it. I still put it on to this day.
That was actually going to be one of my choices for a War Killer.
I'm surprised one of you hadn't had it already, or was going to.
I'm entirely behind you with that one, Fisher.
Me too.
Okay, cool.
A bit of a shame for me because I can only remember like a handful of tracks.
You need to go
I'm
back
going to listen to it.
That's your home. That's your home.
As I did last week.
Did you listen to Come Clarity?
Yeah.
What did you think? Listening to it now.
I think it was good. I can see why you picked it. I remember really enjoying it when it came out. I don't think it aged well as much as I expected it to.
Okay,
I still thought it was great, and I thought the songwriting was fantastic, but it just didn't excite me the way it used to when I was younger.
That's fair.
However, like I said, like not to take away that, like for its time, it was needed, and it was a fucking brilliant album.
Yeah.
I love going back to old albums and just getting that feeling like, fuck, why did I stop listening to them? You forget about albums a lot of the time, so that's why this whole thing is good to go back, and I'm enjoying that, but it just didn't have that effect on me for some reason.
Okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, look,
literally.
You can't win them all.
Your homework this week, Venom and Tears.
Yeah.
I just want to
I'm actually trying
to make a point about Throwdown themselves as a band. I just don't know about them. Are they suffering some sort of identity crisis?
Well, they're not very consistent, are they?
Right. They start life out as a hardcore band, fine, and a fucking good hardcore band with Haymaker, Vendetta, which was fine, really good. You know, Vendetta's probably one of my favourite hardcore albums. Right, one of my favourite albums of the last 10 years, In Venom of Tears, fucking awesome. Notably, Don't Tour the UK on that album, which I'm still bitter about to this day. Follow it up with Deathless, fine.
Yeah.
In the it was in the same vein. It followed suit to Venom and Tears. It wasn't perhaps as heavy and as punchy, but
there's more groove to it.
It was more melodic and a bit more Godsmack kind of.
Yeah. What song was it? I'm trying to say it was like Skeleton King, something like that.
Yeah. You know, some solid tracks on Deathless as well, with Discontinuing, heavy in places. Disappear off the face of the fucking earth for about 5 years and come back with
hardcore band.
with a changed lineup and another hardcore band. I just think make your mind up.
I agree.
Don't give me the best album of the last 10 years. Fuck off for 5 years and then come back as a hardcore band.
So they went back. They just completely changed.
Their last album.
It doesn't fucking wash for me.
No,
I don't like it. That's what I'm saying.
It was a dog shit album. I didn't like it at all.
Is this the straight edge one?
This is the
this was full on.
This
right.
Yeah. This
like
was
slap a pint out your hand kind of
right.
Yeah, that kind of straight.
I don't have a problem with that album.
I feel like I was being lectured for not being straight edge.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the
album.
album.
Out your hand, though.
The album Intolerance, I wouldn't have a problem with had they have not written Venom and Tears and Deathless. I just think don't try and go in that direction. Absolutely excel at it,
which they fucking did.
Which they did, and then not do anything like that again. I just think, what are they?
How long ago was Intolerance released now?
2014.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, yeah.
3 years ago.
And we've still not seen them in the UK.
No, and there's no signs of anything new.
Well, I thought they'd split up
since.
I kind of sworn they split up.
No one fucking knows anymore.
No one knows.
Right.
We don't get a lot from Throwdown in terms of information. They're very difficult.
I think it's safe to say.
And then, I don't know, who knows, in 5 years' time they might come and hit us with another Venom and Tears.
They've played Download twice
and they
since Venom and Tears.
Arch Enemy.
Yeah, they did. But they've not toured.
They've not done a headline UK run.
No.
I think
years.
what you're voicing here is probably the minority of the Throwdown fans.
Probably.
Because Throwdown came up. The term Throwdown is such a hardcore thing.
Yeah.
I know that Venom and Tears as an album got a lot of shit.
It was a massive departure.
Yeah, but that's where I come from as a metal fan, as I'm not a hardcore fan.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're probably one of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what they might have been hearing a lot more of is like, we want the hardcore back. So, you know.
Sure. Especially after Deathless, which was way out there for Throwdown.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, but don't give me Venom and Tears and then do nothing else. It just fucks me off.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it really annoys me. So,
I can tell.
Yeah, I need to get that out. So.
Oh, fuck.
Feel better now?
Yep.
You feel better, yeah?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool, shall we wrap it up?
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Excellent.
I mean, Fisher looks like he's about to have a stroke or something.
No, I'm good. I've got a smile on my face now. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Gonna die happy.
But yeah, good.
The world needed to hear that.
Really fucking good choice. Next week it is All Killer from
Danny.
Yeah, boy. I've got a good one for you.
Excellent. And Homework is a thrash band.
I'm looking forward to this.
And we'll have an extra one because Carl will be here.
Yeah. That's going to be an angry conversation.
Yeah.
Do I know this guy?
Carl Cook?
Yeah, you might have.
He's about 4 times the size of you.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah,
and all of
us.
He came to Parkway with us on Saturday.
Oh, I was the London one watching shit explode, so...
Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. Yeah, next week
That'll
then.
be fun. That'll be fun.
It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. I've had fun this evening.
It's a good one. Yeah.
It's been good. Yeah, as always.
Well,
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. See you later, guys.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.